I'm proud to say that I'm happy to announce that today, COVID-19 levy is accordingly abolished. Ghana is back, strong, stable, and full of hope. And yes, our Black Stars are heading to the World Cup.
Honorable House has approved the nomination of Justice Paul Bafubone as Chief Justice.
Abusia mamu akorba ebiem emra dwumadie so after say Finance Minister presented 2026 budget no ewieye no enkomo bebre ene frache eba enkomo bebre so ena Ghana for edi ebimu jubilate kansam say His Excellency John Mahama enena ban Woma bom ho modern baransa na commander yebekon nsem na yebie nsem nim na yetie de course no ebese yakwa this video eba ketua bi and say finally COVID tax no womo yefi ho na enwachi no Ghana for jubilate entiansa na yebekọ economy no ene energy sector ene sama ato forson ede tu dwa no so no ebese ketua bi yenkotie we nkwamra. Right,
Honorable Speaker, the new VAT reforms will do the following. We will abolish the COVID-19 health recovery levy. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the decoupling of Get Fund and National Health Insurance levies from the VAT tax base. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish VAT on recognizance and prospecting of minerals. Mr. Speaker, will reduce the effective VAT rate from 21.9 to 20%. Mr. Speaker, will raise the VAT registration threshold from 200,000 to 750,000 cedis. Mr. Speaker, we will extend VAT zero rating on the supply of local manufacturing textiles to 2028. Mr. Speaker, for emphasis, we promise to abolish the COVID-19 levy. With the support of this House, Mr. Speaker, I'm proud to say that I'm happy to announce that today, COVID-19 levy is accordingly abolished. Mr. Speaker, by abolishing the COVID-19 levy, government is putting 3.7 billion Ghana cedis in the pockets of individuals and businesses in 2026. Mr. Speaker, these reforms will also reduce the cost of doing business by 5%. As a result of subjecting Get Fund and NHIL levies to input-output deductibility for businesses, Mr. Speaker. Altogether, the VAT reforms is expecting to give back nearly 6 billion Ghana cedis to businesses and households. We'll give it to you. 6 billion cedis, Mr. Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker, the VAT registration threshold has declined in real terms from 200,000 Ghana cedis in 2015 to approximately 48,000 Ghana cedis in current values. Mr. Speaker, this means that small and micro businesses that were exempted in 2015 from VAT registration are now compelled to register and charge VAT. This has placed an undue burden on small and micro businesses and also increased the cost of administering VAT. Right, Honorable Speaker, the increase in VAT threshold is expected to address this problem and make VAT administration simpler and easier to implement. So, Speaker, VAT on mineral exploration and reconnaissance has led to very little investment in minerals exploration over the past 2 decades. So, Speaker, abolishing VAT on minerals exploration and reconnaissance will revive investor confidence, stimulate greenfield activities, and ensure the long-term sustainability of the country's mining sector. Right, Honorable Speaker, this measure will promote responsible mining and help to mitigate the hazard mineral prospecting that degrades our forests and water bodies.
Okay, Commander.
Yeah, the writer.
Finally.
Yeah.
COVID-19 tax, no. His Excellency John Mahama enena ban.
Yeah.
Ato forson Finance Minister and say NDC by woman yefuo. Woman promise Ghana for say a COVID-19 tax NPP the buy no. Obe yefuo. And the first budget in the buy no. Na shim na Ghana for di hun komo bebre. But then budget we die. Woman dey ashem say woman yefuo. The quick one. Yeni kandi we hu nkomo na ye wi a. Ye be kwa cheda kwa kutie video na nkasa. Na ye buy asampo hu nkomo because economy no e was say ye rate NDC aban.
Of course.
And of the energy sector. But then quick one. Yeni kanra hansa.
Well, the right man was in the first place. Na me check for na fi. Ye need ye wo kan hu nkomo because we no ye dey platform like ye bia. The right ye be rate wo na fi akɔhwɛ adwuma o ma ye ene de e wo atira eba. The right with this nkomo we na manfo deeper because in 2025 budget ye hu COVID-19 level. Ene ye wie ye no o mo de hye mu se omo kwa kotrase akwa consultation ntie no achi no omo be ye free ho in the mid-year budget review no amam ntina manfo ka se o we die e ya dada e ye scam na ban enya de omo be ye free ho and at this time aban no ayi free ho the writer in the first place Atofos in aging common o say COVID-19 levy no it is abolished every nekoi parliament yet nasi now omo jitu say budget now present rejetuma COVID-19 eni hobie
na no me koto aduane me ama me receipt
okay
me hwa de no so me say COVID-19 tax
okay
and I'm say okay so me twen Atofos in say or 2026 budget ne be ba tudwa
of course
no ma hwe se me hu no omu a se me nya hu no omu a me love for NDC aban no ebesa akosoro basema hu no omu de ne ye mentwe mo
okay
and finally wo mu de asemu yi Ghana fo ani age
mo ntirata woni bibi de ama ni general sonko ne say at the time omo ye campaign no enim say political parties ye campaign na obi a hyebo nti NDC fo nso hyebo say omo ba taxes ya MPP de ba ya Ghana fo complain no omo yi afri ho enti omo ba ya ne hu say omo yi levy free ho omo yi emission levy free ho omo yi betting tax free ho ni other taxes and a COVID then the omo yi and a Ghana fo be started say omo complain say after the omo yi free ho nyina chi no they should take this one out the writer NDC are buying as a listening government omo say tax we free ho na every ho no and free ho pa the writer the man come no e me danie tax na e free ho no according to Atofos or say annually afibia sika na COVID-19 levy no e jifri Ghana for ho e 3.7 billion Ghana cedis say sika we enei aban ne say or find ways e means onye sika e dey manage economy
na gold board nko no masa sika aban ni nya free gold so no
the right one say aban ne ka so be taxes na free ho no afanya markets e ko bi so mo parliament say taxes na musimu betwam no mu twam a sika ben ena mo de be ye adwuma
na the COVID-19 say ni ho biem
the right say na omugu so je ho tax na ban je
ena me che say COVID-19 no kwa no be 2022 nyina na ade ne ko enso na before that say je hu sika
no mo je ho taxes but the argument was taxes na ye je no eno ne ade hwe o man no eno ne ade bo man no ho bra eno ne ade free education and this free ho a ye ho be kire this government am making sure say at the end Ghana for complaining nti omo yi free ho no directly sika over 3.7 billion Ghana cedis and e beka ye botom ye sika na aban na ji free ye botom and ne aban na say sika no onyi biem and na ye botom ye mfa mo ye bra ye ni sika no the right ansi ho na minim sa COVID levy no and ye the last levy aban ni be ye free ho a ye ni hu komo biem that is a twema ye wie to my surprise aban ne ba ye na to force ne to yanim se o ansi ho but VAT levy na e wo ho no about 21.9% VAT levy ye tua no e dos dodo enti omo yi 1.9 na free so na no aba be ka 20% and obi gusa say 1.9 there but so if you shaka wonyi hwe because that was the argument a man for sure say so omo erezi but that 1.9% na omo ye free ho no eno kwa e save Ghana for 6 billion Ghana cedis nti enei omo ye business sa omo tua VAT no the right sika ebeka omo botom ebeka omo business mu a aban anyim free omo ho no eye about 6 billion Ghana cedis e sika from taxes aban jama so we dey menye mo man mo ho the right afa no to nchen wa manansi ho National Health Insurance Scheme NHIS ye will levy na ye chetua into what ye ticket fund na the last time ye obi car we import to store last year na o check list na obe who get fund NHIS levy enei Atofos and say sa tax no ye ye free ho enti sa get fund NHIS levy no ya ye tete medical health insurance sector no aban ne say health insurance no so ye adwa but sa tax no ye ntua biem right these are taxes are enei ato forson ebe present ye our parliament here it is 7 Ghana over 9 billion Ghana cedis a year. Yeah, a yet for your bottom sika. Ye nyim farmer aban. Aban says sika ne ochire yen. Yem fire there. But o mine there, oberane a very good.
Quick one, Commander, yentum rika na yenhye na nkonko tie nsem no. Na economy no. Amanfo di ho nkomo. Ni nyina odi san nkomo no. To de yase da katekate bi ne yi bi afum ne de bi ahyehyem. Yenkonko tie mraketo abi. Yekoba we chin and semi nyina ewo because energy sector no so me wasem kan
of course
afei economy no so me wasem kan the quick one yenya botanya konya ntantie we mra ne ekoba ensem bebre ewachi.
Mr. Speaker, I stand before this House humbled by the confidence reposed in me by His Excellency the President to deliver his second budget under his reset agenda. Mr. Speaker, when this administration took office, we met an economy in distress, weighed down by debt, weakened by mismanagement, and stripped of confidence. Mr. Speaker, in the 2025 budget, the 2025 budget was our first act of courage, a declaration that Ghana would rise again through reforms, discipline, and visionary leadership. Right Honorable Speaker, the theme for this year's budget draws from the President's profound words in his 2025 State of the Nation address when he declared that, Mr. Speaker, quote, "Today, inspired by Almighty God and propelled by the massive mandate given to me by the people of Ghana, I am moved to make a purposeful and bold declaration that I, John Mahama, will fix the economic crisis confronting our country and reset it on the path of growth and sustainability." Right Honorable Speaker, it is with that same conviction that I present the 2026 budget under the theme Resetting for Growth, Jobs and Economic Transformation. Mr. Speaker, under President Mahama's leadership, this government has chosen a harder but higher road, the road of reform, renewal, and resilience. We have restored fiscal discipline, brought inflation under control, stabilized the cedi, and rekindled investor confidence. This is not just a recovery, it is a reset. It is a story of a nation that refused to stay down. This is a rebirth from the ashes of daunting inheritance, the heavy burden laid upon us by the previous administration. Mr. Speaker, it is indeed a revival forged amid the tempest of hopes, harbored by the ordinary Ghanaian, whose spirit has long been weathered by 8 years of hardship, impoverishment, and shadows of deception. Mr. Speaker, it is the story of Ghanaians who endured hardships with dignity and held on to hope when the road was rough. Right Honorable Speaker, we have learned a powerful truth, and the truth is that fiscal discipline is the backbone of national progress. Mr. Speaker, there is no shortcut to responsible economic mismanagement. Mr. Speaker, there is no shortcut for responsible economic management. Never again must we allow recklessness, waste, and indiscipline to define how we handle the people's money. Right Honorable Speaker, President Mahama has made it clear that under his watch, the integrity of our public finances will remain sacred. Mr. Speaker, confidence is returning. The Black Star is rising once more. Ghana is back, strong, stable, and full of hope. And yes, our Black Stars are heading to the World Cup. Right Honorable Speaker, with that renewed energy and optimism, this budget is about building on the foundation we have laid, turning stability into opportunity and opportunity into prosperity. On behalf of His Excellency the President, I extend my deepest gratitude to organized labor, the employers' associations, and workers of Ghana who work with government to successfully agree on the national minimum wage and base pay for 2026, ahead of this budget, reflecting our shared vision of fairness, stability, and productivity. Mr. Speaker, the 2026 budget marks a decisive shift from recovery to transformation, from resilience to productivity, and from stability to jobs. Mr. Speaker, over the next year and beyond, government will focus on 3 priorities to reset for growth, jobs, and transformation. Speaker, the first will be consolidating the macroeconomic stability. The second will be accelerating economic transformation and job creation. And finally, strengthening security and social sector for inclusive growth. Right Honorable Speaker, our vision is clear. A Ghana that produces more than it consumes. A Ghana that exports value-added goods, not just raw materials. A Ghana where jobs are decent, incomes are rising, and opportunities shared by all. And, Mr. Speaker, a Ghana where every citizen lives with dignity and pride. Mr. Speaker, that is the Ghana we are building. A Ghana powered by discipline, driven by vision, and anchored on shared prosperity. Right Honorable Speaker, having outlined the guiding theme and vision for this budget, I now turn to the state of the Ghanaian economy as at October 2025. Mr. Speaker, and to show where we stand, what we have achieved, and where we are heading. After that, I'll present the policies, priorities, and resource allocation that will drive Ghana's growth, jobs, and economic transformation in 2026 and beyond. Mr. Speaker, at the beginning of the year, we inherited a painful effect of the fiscal slippages of 2024. Pressures that weighed heavily on households and businesses and public finances. Mr. Speaker, confidence was fragile. Inflation remained elevated. The exchange rate was unstable, and the public debt was elevated. Yet, through visionary leadership, fiscal discipline, and policy consistency, the tide has finally turned. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's economy has now recovered, marked by renewed investor confidence and an improved macroeconomic outlook. Mr. Speaker, I'll now give you real sector performance. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's economy has regained its rhythm. Real GDP expanded by 6.3% in the first half of 2025, up from 5.1% in the same period of 2024, driven by stronger agriculture and service, lower inflation, and renewed business confidence. Non-oil GDP grew by 7.8%, showing that our growth is now powered by domestic production. Mr. Speaker, the service sector remains the heartbeat of recovery, surging 8.8% with ICT up 17.2%, finance and insurance up 9.5%, and education up 14.9%. Agriculture, the backbone of stability, also grew by 6%, doubling that of last year. Mr. Speaker, cocoa rebound from a sharp 21.4%, contracting to 2.8% growth. Mr. Speaker, thanks to the targeted farm support, and smarter policies. Industry held steady despite reduced oil output. Manufacturing rose 6.3% and construction 4.0%, reflecting reliable energy and revived infrastructure projects. On the demand side, Right Honorable Speaker, household consumption grew by 8.2%, reflecting stronger household confidence. Government spending also slowed to 3.7%, proving fiscal discipline. The Speaker, export grew 11.5%, led by gold, cocoa, and non-traditional export. This is the growth that creates jobs, lifts incomes, and builds lasting stability. The Speaker, I now take you to price development. Right Honorable Speaker, inflation has fallen faster than anyone imagined, from 23.8% in December 2024 to 8% by October 2025. Ghana is back to a single-digit inflation. This was not by sheer luck. It is the outcome of disciplined fiscal policy, steady monetary management, stable exchange rates, and strong domestic production. Together, these have restored confidence, stabilize the cedi, and ease the pressure on families and businesses. Food inflation reduced from 27.8% to 9.5%. Prices of everyday food such as tomatoes, garden eggs, okra, and fish are finally falling. Mr. Speaker, non-food inflation also dropped from 20.3% to 6.9%, supported by steady fuel prices and lower import costs. Right, Honorable Speaker, this progress proves that sound policies brings real relief. Sound policies brings real relief. So, Speaker, both imported and local price pressures are now contained. Right, Honorable Speaker, the task ahead is to sustain this stability by keeping fiscal discipline, boosting food security, and ensuring strong coordination between the fiscal and monetary authorities. The Speaker, I now take you to fiscal performance. The Speaker, 2025 marked one of Ghana's strongest fiscal turnaround in decades. The primary balance on commitment basis swung from a 3% deficit in 2024 to a 1.6% surplus by September 2025, exceeding the target and proving that discipline delivers results. Mr. Speaker, reforms in revenue mobilization and spending controls anchored this recovery. The removal of nuisance e-levy did not weaken revenue. Broader tax reforms and efficient gains lifted non-oil tax revenue to 8.7% of GDP, up from 7.8% in 2024. On expenditure, government tightened non-priority spending whilst protecting key investment in the sectors. Mr. Speaker, Treasury bill rates have fallen, saving 8.8% in interest from January to September. Mr. Speaker, 8.8 billion from January to September. Mr. Speaker, public debt dropped to its lowest in a decade, and Ghana's debt risk has been reclassified from high to moderate. These gains have created space for social and capital investment, eased external debt pressures, and restored investor confidence. Right, Honorable Speaker, Ghana's fiscal consolidation is now credible, sustainable, and homegrown, a model of responsibility that turns stability into progress and ensures every city works for the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, I take you to social protection. Right, Honorable Speaker, even as we pursue fiscal consolidation, government protected and expanded social spending to cushion vulnerable households. Allocations to social protection programs increased to 0.9% of GDP, up from 0.6% in 2024. Mr. Speaker, these targeted interventions reflect our conviction that economic stability must translate into social progress. Mr. Speaker, I will now give you an update on power purchase agreements, renegotiations, and other reforms in the energy sector. Right, Honorable Speaker, when this administration took office, Ghana's energy sector was saddled with about $1.4 billion United States dollars in debt to independent power producers, a ticking fiscal bomb, I call it. Mr. Speaker, today, that burden has been lessened. We have renegotiated all power purchase agreements, led by Ghanaian experts at no cost to the state, saving over $250 million and restructuring 1.1 billion Ghana cedis over a four-year period. Mr. Speaker, government is now fully current on payment, clearing $300 million United States dollars in 2025 year to date, and allocating $345 million United States dollars for 2026. Mr. Speaker, for the first time, we are not accruing new arrests in energy sector. Solar tariffs, projects like BXC and Mineji have dropped from 18 to 6.5 cents per kilowatt hour, cutting costs and expanding access. Mr. Speaker, this was achieved as part of the renegotiation. Mr. Speaker, the Electricity Company of Ghana revenues has risen almost 90%, from 900 million to 1.7 billion Ghana cedis per month. per month, thanks to better enforcement of the cash waterfall mechanism. So, Speaker, I repeat, ECG's revenue has improved by almost 90% per month, from 900 Ghana cedis per month to 1.7 billion Ghana cedis per calendar month. Mr. Speaker, I'll now give you an update on the audit of arrears and payables. Mr. Speaker, upon assuming office, government was confronted with outstanding arrears and payables totaling 68.8 billion Ghana cedis, comprising 50.5 billion in unpaid invoices and interim payment certificate, IPCs, and 18.3 billion in outstanding bank transfer advices, BTs. Mr. Speaker, in fulfillment of our pledge to protect the public purse and ensure value for money, we commissioned the Auditor General, working directly with PwC and EY, to conduct an independent validation of these arrears and commitment. Mr. Speaker, as I informed this August House during the media review of the 2025 budget, this special audit covered all verified arrears and commitment as at end December 2024. The objective was to establish the legitimacy of the claims, identify irregularities, and address the fiscal risk arising from the accumulation of these arrears and outstanding commitment. Mr. Speaker, the audit, Mr. Speaker, the exercise has now been completed, and the Auditor General is finalizing his report for submission to Parliament. But, Mr. Speaker, the findings are troubling and very damning. Very damning. Mr. Speaker, out of the 68.8 billion, Mr. Speaker, I'll give headline numbers whilst we wait for the Auditor General to submit the report next week. Mr. Speaker, out of the 68.8 billion payable submitted for audit, 47.8 billion cedis was validated. Mr. Speaker, an additional 8.6 billion Ghana cedis remains under review, pending further validation due to inadequate documentation, missing third-party confirmation, and lack of supporting document. Mr. Speaker, these yet to be validated claims may be legitimate, but further evidence will be required before they can be recognized. But, Right Honorable Speaker, about 10.4 billion Ghana cedis in claims were rejected. The Speaker, due to duplications, recycled IPCs, inflated invoices, falsified stores receipts advice, and instances of no work but demanding money. Right Honorable Speaker, out of the rejected amount, about 1 billion Ghana cedis, comprising BTAs, bank transfer advices, that had already been processed by the Ministry of Finance and were ready for payment by the Controlling Accountant General and Bank of Ghana, were rejected. The Speaker, without this audit, these claims would have been paid, underscoring the importance of vigilance and verification. Mr. Speaker, about 2 billion Ghana cedis was also reclassified from claims to BTAs. Right Honorable Speaker, the report is ready and it will be submitted and the detail may be discussed by this House. Right Honorable Speaker, our investigation into Ghana's import system exposed a staggering abuse of import declaration forms, a tool meant to support legitimate trade, but now hijacked for illicit transfers and tax evasion. Mr. Speaker, between April 2020 and August 2025, over 525,000 transactions amounting to an equivalent of $83 billion were processed through ICOMS. Mr. Speaker, surprisingly, this amount of $83 billion were transferred from Ghana in the name of imports. But surprisingly, Mr. Speaker, only 10,440 of these transactions were linked to actual imports. Mr. Speaker, an equivalent of $31 billion in transactions were transferred abroad with no goods imported into the country. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, this leaks bleeds our reserves, weakens the Ghana cedi, and deprive the economy of resources that should have been used to build schools, roads, and hospitals. Mr. Speaker, the audit also reveals that some importers under-declared values to hide about 76 billion cedis in imports, denying Ghana about 11 billion Ghana cedis in potential revenue between 2020 to 2025 August. Mr. Speaker, other importers inflated transfer values aided by some banks that ignored the $200,000 ceiling set by the central bank. Over 17,700 IDF applications broke this limit, channeling an equivalent of about 20 billion United States dollars in unverified transactions out of Ghana. Right, Honorable Speaker, this was not a loophole. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, this was not a loophole. It was an organized system for exploitation. In fact, an organized crime. Mr. Speaker, persons and institutions behind these activities are being referred to the Attorney General, Economic and Organized Crime Office, the FIC, and CID for investigation. Mr. Speaker, also, the Ghana Revenue Authority will establish a special recovery unit to reclaim all this lost revenue between this period. Right, Honorable Speaker, government has since acted decisively. An interagency committee will now audit all imported related transfers going forward. The Bank of Ghana will also match every forest transfer with verified import data. The Speaker, we are drawing a hard line. Every dollar leaving Ghana must deliver real value for the people of Ghana.
Okay, Commander.
Yeah, Director.
After forcing.
Aboy Juma pa.
Na baby amenia G economy nti we say no. Ni bisawa na ja o flow. And they say economy no so hu ni say.
Well, Director.
And some of the atudwa no.
Per indicators any nkoma atofo edi.
Yeah.
Sebi ni frani poverty say economy no ayeye.
O da bi minority no so say economy ni nyeye o.
Well, Director say minority ni say nyeye ya.
Mo say dollar so ate so niema so ntie.
Director, ananwada ni dance ni emu ekoto emu sack.
Yeah.
Sack na first na me turn 100 cedis. Me turn 78 Ghana cedis. E 5 kg.
Ya na me ko dwoma che.
Mo. Enti so obi ka se eni abambo ma afoma oboa. Ye nyina ne okrompa ye nim fu oboa. Enne ye nim price of fuel. Director ye nim komo because atofas nkomo and on economy ya minority can different ni. Director atofo say economy no mo ba inherit no obi anim se na nya papa
na se okra na onim
mo na bibia se
me kra na mabon kwa no me kra me nim se economy na ne ma sei
mo enti wo hwe ya da bia na ye die nkomo kiremu se ye mpese wo ba o ka economy asema wo be ka inflation ye sei ena we ye sei Director enei under MPP na omuka indicators ne nko a but na omuntimi nka prices ewodwum but atofo semba oka indicators na oka prices ewodwum because enei se oka indicators ya oba be fa inflation was 23%. Enei inflation over 8%. The last time a single digit inflation I check the rate of to check I reflect to a market too because one more na sebi or want to mean to aduane and woof ye more money no more money no then send him more but at least a nay or kodoma and yama born a affordable the rate of another 2008 say enye by chance you enye say a man and the tofri soro and a seed na gina and a niema bo ba form full bo echo form and a dollar ntimi hwe seed no enye accident a modi mobi no mo boy na this are modi mondo be a fiba because na minority ni bisa say dey no mo ye ya dollar ni gina ye the right according to forson or say seed na ye kra no krom ha ne dollar na wo krom ha no na nkrofo bi sisa sika ni fi krom ha dollar no normal transfer the kwamo na ne wa bra emfa proper way wa bra ye account for fe no to nchen aside the ye account for no omo di sika ne dodo na no so kwa in the name of importation omo di sika ne kwa bibi ama yesi ye ko import ne ma di abagana director so omo di sika ne kwa sika no ebe kwa koduru but enema bi ama nti se wa hwa atofo sense about $80 billion and I transfer free Ghana and the kwamo no say ye de kra niema ba ye wie no emu $31.8 billion and kra niema amba enti imagine say ya tam sika $31.8 billion na ye de kwamo no
we nyina ma dollar no kosuru
mo enti at the end of the day obi ti ba bi na obisa say atofo senda bia oje fans man ho no e die na odi gu akwan ma e ma seed ni gina ya director sa loophole we ya otua ye no eno nkoye enough say e be ma seed no agina ne naso director fe no to nchen atofo sen wanwie ho atofo sen gu so di ni nkoma na osa kire mu say omo ba ye no na there was a payable arrears here was abantua sika bia was abantua ma individuals any companies director with this money no now about 68 billion Ghana cedis and was about as arrest now with this 68 billion Ghana cedis and now oh yes there bisika we yentimi ntwa just like that until we need to do an audit with the audit no the writer God been so good auditor general here audit ni wie na kwaba sika we emu bi wo ho a sabi amfa kwan papa so about 8.8 billion Ghana cedis sika lack validation in the first place you validate here you hear third parties assurance maye enkrata here ebedi mo no ye nya nkrata no eside na etwe sika no the right no kodan chen atofo say the last part of sika no 10.4 billion Ghana cedis na sa 10.4 billion Ghana cedis no rota na sika ye gina kwanso ye kotua but sika na ye kotua no sebi na ye ni even an evidence proof rota na akwakoye forged documents store fake and falsified documents and amount for the buy say ye ntwe sika $10.4 billion Ghana cedis no emfama omo no nkodi na o prevent sika no enti enei sika no aka economy nim ama economy na gina na Mr. Kenoforiata wasan e dey akoma auditor general say sika ni mu over 1 billion Ghana cedis yentua wa bra na nkrata papa bia eni ho wa prevent e
to aba be dru se semire so na no NDC aban da so expose MPP for 1 year crowd and go say 7 come expose o mawi but still na expose no da so hihye ho
mo na oni bibi nsem we nkamfo nyina no with the economy ni sikasem no e de adwuma kase ekoto attorney general so because atofo se kan osan de shemu say with this findings omunya ye no omunya ma ne nkokwo omu de sa ne mani nyina akwa attorney general say attorney general make sure say ya beji sika we nyina de sika na be she economy nim na economy na yeyi the right economy ni dey already ye nim say agina dada but ye be here sika we making sure say economy ni be yeyi it with the economic side no ato forcing we na why
na ense energy nso
of course
energy sector nso ye be ba ban na ba so because this time no light na gina so ana unpotem to say
Raja me unpotem true be told me the last time a light a call off that be
nyabutu
oh the right say o mo say o te wa fun wo be pie we area nyina light ni ho
okay say dey
ye hu sa de ni bi first o be te afun light ni ba be so mo say ye na man fa baaje so
enti die na ekoso a ai na light ni dundum sa enka ni bi atwam this time ye wonders nkwa na to force ni energy minister ai esha se no mo so kasa do
say we just
dey no maye pa
well the right ma memra ho because budget ni nyina no ba bia me tie ya makoma eto me yam energy sector na me tie wi no say John Jenapo ene atoforsin nyame nhira wo bo na nyame nhira president John Mahama the right atoforsin di to Ghana for anim say energy sector omo ba ye no ECG say omo gigi omo light bill na bosomi bia no na omutimi nya bese 900 million Ghana cedis the right omo ba no mo se da bi sika ni bebre kam enti omo betuatua ntokro no director say bosomi bia no omo timi gigi light bill about 1.7 billion Ghana cedis enti eka sabi 100 million Ghana cedis per na aye 2 times the na MPP time ye gene bosomi enti it tells you say energy sector no sorry to say na MPP for die agro bosomi so a kakra ombenya bia no makopon ba bia tra but NDC aban ba ye no from 900 million Ghana cedis a month to 1.7 billion Ghana cedis a month e kire say omunim dia omoye director enei sikana da bia so na ECG de ka yenkope sika metua no atofosin ene John Mahama make sure say ECG ho sika ho enti yenyi ho sika no na yemfantua director aside that question na manfo bisa wonso bisa mi say o ene e de no mo ye ya light no agina so no director ene ho nkomoni according to atofosin o say omo ba inherite ye no yenyina ye nim problems omo face ye na light no edum director light no do no omo decide ye say problem no omo be solve na omo solve no de omo ye nie o say aban ni make sure say oni companies na omo private companies a omo supply ye nyina ma odini bi no omo ne omo kwa negotiations na eka ye di omo no ye ne omo di nkomani ye didwa na kasa abam na eka no swati na fe ya extended timer ye be twa kanim ye hwe a omo be ye okay ye nso be ye okay na omo nya akomapa e da supply light enti ye ye no Oma cut cost over $200 million. A free ho. Sika negotiation kwa o. Omo de atesa kana twinchen. Omo wie ye no ma sa extend yen term of debt no sika do na ye tua no. Mfie do de betua no. And they say ye the 4 years. Tua ye kan bi kakran according to atofosin. Na baby a owie minie. Right atofosin say omo ba ye light ni dum no ma hu say and so supply this and omo engage 2 private companies now 2 private companies no almost supply light no over 1,200 megawatts of power every day and right over 1,200 megawatts of power every day no more than the Akuffo body mayen and MPP for any opposition for na omo bisa say dey na aban ne dey ba no aban ne ba ye no private companies no e more than the Akuffo body mayen but before some wie ho no right atofosin say last one light na agina so ye wie you because light na dey bibia enei say you see 2026 ma mampani any o maka asi ya ye no budget nim director ye ba bebie another company ye ba produce light ya sebi enyina mahoden no sa company no eso edisini Akosombo dam enti a new 1,200 megawatts of power thermal plant and a ye ba bebia ye more than Akosombo dam director enti ubisa say energy sector dey enkomo ne wo ho a we ye enkomo a Ghana ni bia te a obebo say
quick one Yantumrika na wenyina chi no ena as a chief justice finally yanya chief justice foforo
of course
justice Bafo Boni parliament approve no enti akade biem akasa John Mahama bede
akasa obesu ani in na afei wa hye ne dwuma ase
ese kwa opa onko start
se ebimu kura ka se omo wie budget ne ntema ena omo frame ampani bo na manento ne saka message na obesu ani in
I Justice Bafo Boni chama untumi asemi ukoi mishaw ye the first my why
but the right there is one thing before say Bafo Boni ebebem no say untumi kwabena dubu ahe na give to aware him say enra no nya bill wa shema over 20 days na ontimi ni bail condition o say si bensu shim ya te ni bail condition so ontimi say man 8 trillion o Ghana cedi they say atiso about 6.5 trillion ontimi but there was one thing bia na me pese me dey ka ho na ye
quick one ye nko na
director sadia na me dey ka ho ye value for money office according to atofosin obi bisa say there be a man for bobo krono ye wie na ye wie ya baba kase Bafo Boni ni attorney general mo ko chese nyi sika ne mra na eno na atofosin se there be omo be creative value for office na ɛhɔ deɛ memfa sɛ value for money officer sɛ yɛyɛ bibia wobɛkɔ hɔ for validation ɔmo validate ma wo na ɔmo gye tom wie a na afei controller agye atom before sɛ controller nso bɛgye atom no auditors general ɛbɛ audite ansa ne ɛtwa nti wonni sika ne wie ɛne yɛabɛkye wakɔhyɛ mu yeah.
Quick one yenkotie parliament emra wɔn approve akasa John Mahama enso so ɛbɛsoa ni enough finally Abe Chief Justice. Quick one, young comrade.
Honorable members, the motion has accordingly been adopted. This Honorable House has accordingly approved the nomination of Justice Paul Bafubone as Chief Justice of the Republic in accordance with Article 114 Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution, respectively. I want to take this opportunity to, on behalf of the House, congratulate the nominee on his approval by Parliament. I urge the nominee to take all what has happened right up from the day of the nomination up to his approval, I should say prior approval by Parliament, into consideration in his tenure of office. Once again, congratulations.
Finally,
of course,
Justice Bafubone, and the Parliament approve.
Sure.
Na minority ni yedi ombetumi bia. Nanso ade na nyeye because 87 die. Okasa unyi we ntumu a
edin.
Quick one yegura mu en.
Wow, the right time, I was in the first place. Now, I'm for Nafi. Yes, na yenin komo. The right time, omo Parliament na nkomo ni mo yede because minority ni decide say omo be oppose into hwe ya omo gina omo na so twetcheye enti abato problem na in the voting no na MP so omo ye present in 69 and NDC for no so 163 because what try to say ato forson any the team ne there omo wo afikire ba bia na omo guso ye omo adwuma ne niema 1212 be concerning the budget enti na nya ade a omo te city nim ebeta ade ba kwa misua free mu ne say ye nim say two political parties no obia ba opese oye ade a party ni bekas ampa or representative party no e so obia tiri mu sa but overall no ebeta no kra ne nyame the interest of the country and was here first enei NPP for koye no omo debate say omo nyintumo no omo nkasa Bafubone qualify you the argument was ensema surrounding go to tokono the remover no enu nti no omo susu say emaye mfa Bafubone emma
na NPP for no so munim say Justice Bafubone atake over one share assembly
of course
because baby o was ade ne da no o de beto nti de obokro no wo MPP abresu bia no anhwe obedem
ne ho be kire no ti the writer ebasa no the argument na NDC for no so make no writer etomasumpa and me interpretation is say they argued say in 2012 yet to abaria na now say on tiasie but na president mama ashaye mampani and another day asem no court enti ye wie na na do dibima ke betu mampani John Mahama afro konya so ne na na robert na so meboa in 2020 president mama lucy o say on tiasie wia no ono so de court say ye di asem wie no di bima ke ye betu na na do na the president mama so abet na so meboa enti enei se position get to talk on why boni ni ye na free ho a omuma ni kwatena nchen na omu ntwe manso court odi bema ye be yi Bafubone esi nchen ayi na ba betene
ebra na omu di dwuma no me tisema afanyoma kenka se Akuffo time no a omu bo Justice Bafubone din no enze na NDC for no ato omu nshada mpene so na de esi den ne de wo mu abeteno so papa yemfa ne Chief Justice and ebe si bitim se na before so mo time na justice bafo boni mo promote no a any other entintu na eham say papa na ba chief justice
mo director that argument alone kasa efa appointment we say any appointment it is in the right process because say NPP and appointed bafo boni to the Supreme Court now wa ba be si enei na NDC for say at this moment justice ya only the judicial service yes say why bone enti onko nchen na nipa wono so MPP na de no Supreme Court and sign take over director nka NDC for my bone ana because get your talk no na na de no Supreme Court and bafo boni former president Akuffo na de no Supreme Court and NDC for say nipa mienu MPP for de o makọ Supreme Court no ba ko aye bone ye na firi ho ye di nipa MPP ni na de ne koye ene ye sad na ba be sha nan right ene che say NDC for ye friendship that be enye family and friends omumfa omu nipa emeshem eye nipa they believe in adwuma ye omu gitum say bafo boni ni adwuma enuti na nei mampeni man opportunity say onko pm Supreme Court na onko lead as the chief justice of the country na only there the right argument na afanyo marking ene ni team no. The agenda was very simple. The right yen stretchy NDC for no yen twi wo mu yen per strategy bi na yen fun delay process no because sawasha omo pentem apase Mr. Bafo Boni na echire mampani abesrani in nti yen delay ade no yen twum say ye twum a ebeche na ja omo so ho akire omo kaka that was it asa but Bafo Boni umpew the right away chief justice congratulations.
Okay, a quick one. Yemo kwena fe no abigi je enso emfa kakra meso so na enko enimti abigi finance na enko wa finance amema na kwa ba abigi na boko de
ina ma boko
na empom to say bia ya fine bia say ye finally at forson wa present 2026 budget na ensemble e de wom quick one so far who you impress na
ma mencha hefo na woni mani age because anema ne ninda eba President Mahama Oban also ba manema koyie
nokwasem
ane NDC abai amanema abafom komanda kasembi also koto mo wamba na ba 75 cedi emo no mekwa matobi emo 55 cedis dio ayesa
ani abafom ampa
ba anema abafom
ana before no say ai ensama to force kika nyina na erodo rada sem
na omo de se sikadie na ombedi MPP abai omo nka o manontu say ye Ghana for no ye ne ato abama omo 2016 say omo mbla maboa ma ya ho nto ye ana omba o manya hantan wo ye so ye ka say omo so ntie ene ye se mfri so na NDC abai mbla omo so ba ne ase NDC ba na 10 months ani ma kofom ani ma de daye
the economy ni
Cinema, obi abaka se economy nje de no abodam. No onim dia oyinipa boni nipa onde etimofo aye wo oman no. Because cinema cement kura bafom. And say cement
okay, so they we cement aduma.
Yes, anema bebe because say ama anema mesin for kura anya aduma ye. Because tama no ko be kokoto cement by 120 no. And oyi 68 auto cement obotomo oyi tada auto cement mo enti over 5 man for we see the 24 economy ni bi no enti NDC aba ade o ma ya no obia obeka se Mahama ene na aban anya di ade ni pakro oyi ni pobone ni enti aduru abia on MPP fo no enye omu ina na be yes ade no omo adwene da ho no omo paman ni koso no omo nkan kire se Mahama amamuwe no enye because yanya hu bi pe
ai COVID-19 tax no ma ye free o
ma yi no kra
o ma ye say ni obiem
kra ene ma me Mahama mona adwuma o se ade ayo okukutifo ba ma ni monyamfo wo ti ko ti se bo nyanim
o boa ende me ntia
me see ba ma o pa yanto chale ya wo de fa ba na Mahama ati ko ene fa bo nyati anim fatos na pede
and Kasa.
Cinema ye no crack. Was said or sell ye. COVID-19 echo. Obi Akotodiana. First Nanka Koton chance of COVID-19 ties now. And the says go in Nipoe. Obet my abonne Oma. Obet my young Mabebri. And the President Maham or said there. Yankopo and Shroud. No one to Pandaso. No papa be a non copa president and new fears and count so. Because I dear we Ghana for some countries and Ethiopia. Cause you are near what you are. Mamma Ghana for and who say, and blow what national. Now, young, I need you on mine or among when you at Chabimu. Why are dear? Why are you much able? Tell me, sir, we are nipa. What dimu? What my Ghana for now, teacher and the tribe among. And the president, Mamma, dear, what you make. Obia was your Macassa. I'm selling to you. God bless.
I was a president, Mamma, who go Akuffo do any massive power.
And what's it?
So we say no. COVID-19 ties ya na Akuffo do ye dear yana. Mama Baby Chamu.
See the hati. I know I can answer. Yana na casa city, I must see the hati. Or buy next dollar babu cities. And your Mahama. And the Mahama. Omuna nana nkasa na egu no fi
na energy sector so light na gina so
cinema 100%
cha
are yenti hana chama ontumi mo tamo no muti akonya no so omo ase omo yeda misoso nti omo ankwafo andi si abayaba na light adum so ajaya ayembo baba so
ebebo
anu na president Mahama ayi anu na waye Ghana ofe na magiri say 2016 dum so na ekoso no nya ndi si abai because omoba na dum so ho omaba stop no omama dum so ajai anti we e kire se endi saban wa omako akire kohwea ne mabebre aba ama na efeva Ghana ama na aboga otie Ghana fo anti Mahama anu na aduma na akwaso na aduma wura kwaso na ye waduma anti de obi baka ye Ghana fo de ye say edu 4 years la ya baka se Mahama to aso a oba to aso ya ka se Mahama wona wanya anti empanifo bi a oboti de omawie sika no a omakotena nche anti oko tie ye Ghana fo ye de say sinama se ne France now ye 100 cities na ntimi ngo fufu ani we 80 cities obo fufu obo akoma person ne so wontimi mo na wontimi fo ngo fufu asama ka adwadifo nyina ya we Ghana fo nyina ya we anti aye anu na president Mahama aye dum so ajai odi wadua na sia fridge ma eye ku say anti president Mahama aduma wura anu anu waya
okay
ti Nyankopon enhira no pa
okay the 2026 budget na koye
na nya no anu
omabo mu mo de
omaya de
okay
anu anu good leader
okay
you see so man obedi ya ne ni papa wedi wo man so
okay
na sinama Mahama de
na ai attorney general chief justice sir woma vet no na every for ka so mo ntia se but ne vet na kwa wieye ama akọ parliament ama omo approve no it is a see me no kasa de men kan se oye chief justice
ebi mu yem
are
hwim ebi mu yem hwim ebi mu yem hwim
for the
chairman to yem
are
okodamo na cinema chairman to anu anu no okodam
ese chama untu kra no mo kodi adanse etia no o maye 4
nipa 4 bi we de say we
trap be kan ba kono akọ no o maye 4
na mo ye 4 again chama untu mi say obefra Ghana for no on fra bi Ghana for mo mle obefra na on fra bi now ungofo na o mo wo nchen o mo nyam te uye nipa bone ni chama ontimi oyin paboni ni sinama asema beki se me no woti he dia besi mi life mu bia no kra no se mintimi ya ka se mbedi asem na me solete yawo because I dey na wo ye no chama ontimi ye ni paboni tie mitin sam kra se chama ontimi ne pe nkofo pe kra no ontua omuka ewo ho no ontua omuka dia me titi no and yes at nkofo e be solete mesi man the word chama ontimi bedem obedem ni disika na bo man mra and chief justice first on Saturday Monday every Saturday ko pe Monday no o so start di chama nya sam ne di tum niama and si aban hu se en kan semo oye campaign say oba akromfo na obeche omadu chama ontimi ya na mo enkofo mo taachire na matu and omunti omuntum ni disika na fo bo man bra no man enkoyi na chama ontimi de mi ma odie Ashawuni by man at the moon. Say Ashawuni. President Mahama, or Sep Mahama is only. Until Obadam, Ashawuni, but Tenasa Maya do what some. Now I wouldn't show you whatever was when you know. When you scan a word now, but Abama what them and this about chicken. I say, I don't want to say I'm own to the mob part of Ghana and Antibabia. Bob Bonini.
Quick one, Eremasi, your core ever sub a beam. Yakra Funina.